We didn't wear these to the office or wash them 50 times. We pulled the spec on every one, the ply, the cotton, the finish, because the numbers don't lie. And the big number on the tag is the one that does. Walmart's George shirt is a cotton poly blend hiding behind wrinkle-resistant. We read the spec on dress shirts from Walmart, Kohl's, Costco, and 8 more stores. These failed. You know the failures without a lab. The collar that went limp and wavy after 5 washes. The shirt that came out of the package feeling like cardboard. The one that pilled and yellowed under the arms in a single season. None of that was bad luck. It was the spec, and the store made sure it wasn't on the label. Let me walk you through all 11. Number 1. Walmart George. Here's the spec that starts everything. The George dress shirt is a cotton polyester blend. Many versions run heavy on polyester, sold around $15, with wrinkle-resistant doing the marketing. Now understand what that blend costs you. Polyester doesn't breathe. It traps heat and sweat against your skin, which is why the underarms of a blend shirt go yellow and stiff faster than cottons. It pills because the synthetic fibers ball up under friction at the collar and cuffs, and it has a faintly plastic hand that no amount of pressing fixes. The word wrinkle-resistant on the front is doing a job. It sounds like a feature, but here it's mostly a description of polyester. Cotton wrinkles, plastic doesn't. That's the whole trick. So you're not buying a treated cotton shirt. You're buying a shirt that's part synthetic and calling the synthetic a benefit. And there's a comfort cost you feel all day. Cotton pulls moisture off your skin and lets it evaporate. Polyester holds it against you. So a blend shirt runs hotter and clammier through a long day, and it holds odor the way pure cotton doesn't. Flip it over and read the fiber percentages before anything else. The ply was always the shirt, and a blend has already lost before ply enters the conversation. We read the content tag, not the wrinkle-resistant claim. The next tier doesn't even pretend to be a dress shirt. One quick thing, and it's the one you've been asking for. You wanted the whole method in one place. Well, here it is. My new guide. Build a $2,000 wardrobe for $200. Every rule from this channel, no logos, no fluff. The link is below. Go build it. Number 2, fast fashion, the H&M tier. The verdict is that these are costume dress shirts. Fabric content varies wildly by style, and that variance is the point. Some run pure cotton poplin. Plenty run cotton poly, and the listing is the only way to know. But the deeper problem is what the shirt is engineered for. A fast fashion dress shirt is cut for a look in a photograph, not for a working week. Thin fabric, so it drapes slim on a mannequin. Fused collar interlining, the stiffener glued rather than sewn in, which is the cheapest way to make a collar stand on day 1. And here's what a fused collar does over time. The glue lets go in the wash, the layers separate, and the collar bubbles and ripples. That's the wavy, puckered collar you've seen on a shirt that's only a year old. It isn't wear, it's delamination. The shirt was built to survive the store, not the seasons. And the fabric weight tells the same story as the collar. A fast fashion dress shirt is often woven light and thin, so it photographs slim and drapes on a hanger, which reads as elegant in the store and turns translucent under office lighting. Thin cloth is cheaper cloth. It's just harder to see until you're wearing it. And because these are priced on trend rather than on cloth, you can pay $30 for a shirt with worse fabric than a $15 one. Read the fiber content, then look at whether the brand says anything at all about the collar construction. Silence there is its own answer. We read the fiber, not the fashion. The next 2 stores sell the same idea with better lighting. Number 3, Old Navy and Gap. Let me compare what these are against what a dress shirt is supposed to do. Old Navy and Gap sell what the industry calls a fashion dress shirt, often blended. Cut slim and short for a modern silhouette, priced to move. As a casual button-down worn open over a tee, it does its job fine, and I won't pretend otherwise. As an actual dress shirt, tucked under a jacket, worn to work 40 times a year, pressed and laundered, it isn't built for that load. The distinction is in the parts you don't see on the hanger. A real dress shirt has a split yoke, 2 pieces of fabric across the upper back cut on the bias so the shirt moves with your shoulders. A fashion shirt has a single-piece yoke, cheaper to cut, less forgiving when you reach. A real dress shirt uses single needle stitching down the seams. Finer, cleaner, more durable. A fashion shirt uses standard double needle, which is faster and bulkier. Neither store publishes much about either, and again, that silence tells you where the money didn't go. So the honest read is this: fine shirt, wrong job. Buy it for a weekend, not for a career. The tell is in the marketing language. When a shirt is sold on its slim fit, its stretch, and its color, and says nothing about the cotton or the construction, the silence is pointing at where the corners were cut. A real dress shirt leads with its cloth. A fashion shirt leads with its silhouette. We read the build, not the cut. The next store made the sale price permanent and the collar fused. Number 4. Kohl's, Apartment 9, Croft and Barrow, Van Huysen, Hager. Here's the question that matters on that floor. What is the permanent sale actually pricing? Because a shirt that's always 40% off was never the higher number. That's the real price wearing a discount costume, and the spec underneath doesn't move when the sticker does. And the spec is largely polyblends and fused collars across these house and mall labels. Now this is where I need to teach you the second big reveal, because Kohl's floor is covered in it. Non-iron and wrinkle-free are not fabric qualities, they're a chemical treatment. The cotton is soaked in a formaldehyde-based resin that cross-links the fibers so they hold their shape. It genuinely works. The convenience is real, but it comes out of the cloth. The resin stiffens the fabric, cuts breathability by partially closing up the weave, and can weaken the fibers over time with heat and repeated laundering. That's why a shirt advertised as premium cotton can still feel like cardboard on your back. You're feeling the resin, not the cotton. So on a Kohl's rack, you often get a blend, a fused collar and a resin finish, 3 cost decisions stacked behind a discount that isn't one. And Van Huysen is a name worth a word here because it invented the modern soft collar a century ago and genuinely mattered. What wears the label now is mostly licensed mall goods, blends and fused collars at a permanent discount. Trading on a heritage the current shirt doesn't honor. The ply was always the shirt, and none of those 3 are ply. We read the finish, not the markdown. The next store looks considerably better than this, which is exactly the risk. Number 5. Target, Goodfellow. The verdict here is more favorable, with a specific caution. Goodfellow's dress shirts generally present better than the tier below. Cleaner cuts, better colors, a more considered fit, at a fair price. Target genuinely put design effort into this line, and it shows on the hanger. But that's precisely why you have to read it carefully, because a better-looking shirt can hide the same 2 compromises. First, check the cotton content, because cotton-rich and cotton blend both mean there's polyester in there, and the percentage is what matters, not the adjective. Second, check whether it's a non-iron or wrinkle-free style, because that resin treatment applies here the same as anywhere. And if you're paying more for the nicer-looking shirt, you want to know whether you're paying for better cotton or for a chemical finish on ordinary cotton. Those are very different purchases at the same price. When Goodfellow runs 100% cotton without the heavy treatment, it's an honest mid-tier shirt and a reasonable buy. When it's a treated blend, you're paying a design premium on the same fabric compromise as the cheaper stores. Here's the useful way to hold it. Target earned a fair price for a better-looking, better-fitting shirt. And if the fabric is honest, 100% cotton, you're getting genuine value for the design work. The trap is only when the nicer look sells you the same treated blend, and at a higher number than the store down the road charges for it. The appearance improved. The question underneath didn't change. We read the composition, not the collar. The next store is a coin flip you actually control. Number 6, Amazon, Essentials, Good Threads, and Button Down. Here's the insider read, and it splits cleanly, so I'll be fair about it. Button Down is genuinely worth knowing. It offers real Supima cotton and 100% cotton dress shirts, sometimes two-ply, sometimes non-iron, at prices in the $40 neighborhood. And Supima is American extra-long staple cotton, meaning longer fibers, fewer fuzzy ends, a smoother and more durable cloth. That's a real spec at a fair price, and it deserves credit. Amazon Essentials and Good Threads run cheaper and more often blended, with less published about ply, so the brand name on the storefront tells you almost nothing. The listing tells you everything. And this is the discipline the whole video is teaching. On Amazon, you can read the exact fiber composition before you click, which is more than most physical stores make easy. Scroll to the material field. If it says 100% cotton and names Supima or Pima, you're in good shape. If it says cotton blend and stops, that's the answer. The store is not the spec. The specific listing is every single time. The next one is a heritage name that needs a fresh look. Number 7, Land's End. Some history here because this brand earned real trust. For decades, Land's End was a benchmark for solid, sensible dress shirts, proper pinpoint Oxfords, honest cotton, sizing that worked for actual bodies, and a returns policy that meant something. A lot of men in this audience built their working wardrobes there, and that reputation was deserved, which is exactly why it needs a fresh look, rather than an assumption. Owner reports on menswear forums have flagged some decline in recent years. Plackets that fold or roll rather than lying flat. Collar wear showing sooner than it used to. I can't run a laundry test on that. What I can tell you is to read the current spec rather than the memory. The good news is that the genuine 100% cotton pinpoint and Oxford lines are still there and still worth buying. Pinpoint being a tighter, finer weave than standard Oxford, dressier and smoother. That's a real shirt. Just verify the fabric on the specific model you're looking at instead of trusting the name on the catalog. Because the line runs from genuine cotton down through easy care treated options, and the price doesn't always separate them. And it's worth knowing the difference between the two weaves it's known for, because you'll choose between them. Oxford is a heavier basket weave cloth with a little texture. Durable, casual, the button-down collar staple. Pinpoint uses the same weave with a finer yarn, so it's smoother and dressier, sitting between Oxford and true dress poplin. Both are honest 100% cotton on the good lines, and both outlast a blend. A qualified pass earned by the cotton lines, not by the reputation. The next store is the mall's best-kept value. Number 8, JCPenney, Stafford. Here's the comparison that makes this the sleeper of the whole list, but only if you buy the right one. Because Stafford sells two very different shirts under one name. There's a cotton poly blend line, which is the ordinary story. Synthetic heavy, easy care, everything we covered at Walmart. And there's a genuine 100% cotton line, pinpoint and Oxford weaves with some Pima options, which is a legitimately good dress shirt. Same brand, same rack. Often similar prices, roughly in the $35 to $55 range at full price, and frequently down near $15 to $30 on sale. That price overlap is the trap and the opportunity. You can pay nearly the same money for the blend or for the real cotton. So the only thing separating a good buy from a mediocre one is whether you read the tag. Buy the 100% cotton pinpoint or Oxford on sale, and you've got an honest, durable, properly weighted work shirt for around $20, genuinely competitive with shirts costing double. Buy the blend at the same price and you've bought polyester. And here's how you tell them apart on the rack because the names blur together. Look for the words 100% cotton and a weave name, pinpoint, Oxford, broadcloth. If it says wrinkle-free or easy care and lists any polyester at all, that's the blend line. The tag settles it in 5 seconds. Stafford isn't a good brand or a bad brand. It's two product lines, and you choose which one you're in. The next store charges more, and mostly earns it. Number 9, Nordstrom. The verdict. This is where the price starts buying something real again. Nordstrom's house-label dress shirts and the national brands it carries run genuine 100% cotton, frequently two-ply in proper weaves, and two-ply is the spec that separates a dress shirt from a shirt-shaped object. Here's what ply actually means, since it's the heart of this video. Single-ply yarn is one strand of spun cotton. Two-ply twists two strands together before weaving. That twist makes the yarn stronger, smoother, more resistant to pilling, and far more durable through 100 launderings. It's the single most predictive spec on a dress shirt, and it's the one almost never printed on the front of the package. You'll pay more at Nordstrom. This is a $50 to $100 shirt, not a $15 one, and part of that is the service model, the alterations, the returns. Whether that's worth it depends on how much you value the store standing behind the sale, but understand the split in that price. Part of it is real cloth and construction, the two-ply cotton, the proper collar. Part of it is the service, the tailoring, the returns, the floor staff. You're paying for both, and only the first part is in the shirt. If you don't need the service, you're overpaying for the cloth alone, which is exactly the gap the winner exploits. But you're not paying a premium for a blend dressed up. You're paying for cotton and construction that the spec actually supports. Read the ply and the cotton on the specific shirt shirt, and you'll see where your money went. The ply was always the shirt. We read the yarn, not the price. The next one shows what the top of this ladder looks like. Number 10, the Mainline Benchmark, a Brooks Brothers tier non-iron 2-ply Supima shirt. I'm including this as a reference point rather than a recommendation because you need something real to measure the winner against. At the top of the mall price range, you'll find shirts built the way the spec says they should be. 2-ply yarns, extra long staple Supima cotton, single needle stitching down the seams, a split yoke, and a properly constructed collar. That combination is what a genuinely well-made dress shirt is, and it typically runs somewhere north of $80 or $100. Single needle stitching is worth understanding since it separates real construction from fast construction. It means each seam is sewn twice, one needle at a time, so the fabric lies flat and doesn't pucker or rope after washing. Standard tailoring runs a double needle in one pass. Quicker, bulkier, quicker to distort. It's invisible on the hanger and obvious after 20 washes. Note that even here, most of these are non-iron treated, the same formaldehyde resin, because the market demands convenience at every price. So the premium isn't buying you an untreated shirt, buying you better cotton and better construction underneath the treatment. That's the honest framing, and it sets up the question that ends this video. If the two specs that actually decide a dress shirt are ply and cotton, what happens when a store delivers both of them for a fraction of this price? Because one does. The ply was always the shirt at every price on this list. We read the ply, not the prestige, which brings us to the winner. Number 11, Costco Kirkland Signature. Here's the payoff, and the spec is genuinely startling for the money. The Kirkland Signature dress shirt is built from 80s 2-ply yarns in 100% extra long staple cotton with single needle tailored construction in spread or button-down collars, and it sells for roughly $18 to $25 depending on the warehouse and the promotion. Read that against everything above. 2-ply, the spec Nordstrom charges 4 times as much for. Extra long staple cotton, the same fiber category as Supima, the good stuff. Single needle stitching, the finer, more durable seam. And here's the counterintuitive fact that ends the thread count argument for good. A 2-ply 80S beats a single-ply 120S every time. The bigger number on the tag is meaningless without the ply behind it, because a fine single strand from mediocre cotton is still one strand. Kirkland gives you the ply and the cotton and doesn't bother bragging about a count. Read the actual spec sheet, and it goes further than you'd expect at the price. 7 points of seam taping to minimize puckering. Single needle tailoring down the seams. Some versions run 100% Pima, the American extra long staple cotton. It's made in Indonesia, and Costco's own buyer describes the 80s 2-ply yarn as a finer, more luxurious cloth. Costco compares its own shirt in quality to the $80 to $100 shirts at high-end stores, and the company's chief executive has said on record that the $17 Kirkland is basically all he wears. When the man who runs the warehouse wears the house shirt, that tells you something. The honest catch, and I'll state it plainly, it's non-iron treated. The same formaldehyde resin as nearly every store shirt on this list, including the $100 benchmark. So it isn't a bespoke shirt. It's the best spec per dollar on any rack in America. Now the math. A $15 poly blend that pills and yellows in a season costs you a shirt a year. A $20 2-ply cotton shirt that lasts 5 costs you $4 a year and looks better every day in between. The cheap shirt was always the expensive one. We read the two specs that matter, not the aisle. So here's the whole method. Read the ply, 2-ply, and ignore the big thread count number until you know it. Read the cotton, 100%, long staple if you can get it, and treat cotton blend as the polyester it is. Read the finish, know that non-iron is a resin, that it costs the fabric something real, and that it should never carry a premium cotton price on ordinary cotton. The thread count never told you whether the shirt survives the year. The ply always did. I'm Bill. I read the ply, not the number. And the guide so many of you asked for is finally here. Build a $2,000 wardrobe for $200. Every rule from this channel in one place, linked below. If this one changed how you shop, watch the men's clothing brands robbing you blind. 370,000 views. And the clothing built to last a lifetime, 199,000 views. The same read the build method for your whole wardrobe. Subscribe. This channel reads the build, not the marketing.